Oh, man.
We are advancing an alternative program. We want expropriation of land without compensation. We want nationalization. We want to bring the dignity of black majority in South Africa
Where
back.
has expropriation of land without compensation worked?
No, it doesn't mean if it doesn't work anywhere, it can't work here. For me, it has worked in Zimbabwe. They are very successful.
Oh.
Ignorant citizens vote for rubbish politicians, not just in South Africa, but across the globe, not just in modern times, but all throughout history. The question I want us to address today is the source of that ignorance and, more importantly, the solution. There are moments that change how certain people see the world. Moments when they're sitting at school during break time watching other kids eat while they have nothing. Moments when they're excluded from class at university while others continue learning, all because they can't afford the fees. At these moments, equality doesn't feel like politics to them. It feels like justice. Not all, but many people who grow up in such environments don't care about economic systems. They care about fairness. So when someone says, let's make everyone equal, or let's take from those who have and give to those who don't, that idea doesn't sound dangerous. It sounds right. It sounds fair. It sounds necessary. And that is how many people get introduced to socialism and communism as a proposed solution to their lived experience.
What we want, it's simple. Ours is free education. Ours is free education. Now. Not when, now. So, comrades, what's going to happen is that we're shutting down.
The same way here in Northwest, a lot of whites say they own land. If you ask them to produce a title deed, they don't have. They gave each other the land early 90s when they saw that democracy was coming. So many white people are here in South Africa. Lebona, they must be treated the same way we treat others. Bona, they are even worse. They've got our land. How na le fast? Narula economic freedom. Oshapali Zimbabwe.
So yeah, that's what the CIC said. I mean, the CIC is unapologetic. That's what makes him, that's what I love most about him, is him standing by his truth, regardless and despite what people say.
Nama area be this yo. 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 Nama area be this yo.
These men are the pirates of the 20th century. Armed with Kalashnikovs and rocket launchers, they attack the oil plants in Nigeria to kidnap expatriates. Their leader is John Togo, the most wanted man in the country. Kidnapping makes these pirates hundreds of thousands of dollars. They attack the oil companies, who they accuse of plundering the wealth of their country without paying anything back to the people.
What do you target?
My target is fuel stations, pipelines, the jackets, NNPC, Shell, Hygiene, Chevron. They are my targets.
Why?
Why? Because they are the people setting the commotion in Niger Delta.
Why do you say that?
They are not sincere. They don't give what belongs to us.
It was a success, and I think it is safe. to say that this is what these people actually want to turn South Africa into. It is crazy. It is crazy.
There's a question that I want to ask to the EFF supporters. We usually call them minions. There's a reason why people are calling them minions. You see, I come from both the PAC and the ANC, and one thing good about these organizations, no matter what they represent today, collective leadership, people question leadership, people discuss issues, especially in the PAC. And I remember the incident in Codesa. The members, they rejected Codesa. Then it was Abumakwetu, Penny Alexander, Patricia Delil. They wanted to betray the cause, or they betrayed the cause, followed the ANC. Hence, there was the year of the Great Storm. Hence, the youth started taking up arms in the early 90s, defying Codesa. So, in movements like Abu EFF, where there's a supreme leader, minions of fighters, always have to agree with Malema.
But let's ask a question. After you marched and say you don't want Zimbabweans, you don't want Nigerians, you don't want Ghanaians, you close shops, you march.
Social justice warriors will do their best to make you feel guilty for protecting yourself, your fellow citizens, and your nation. Just listen to this.
Illegal immigrants are a really big problem in our country. I think everyone can agree with that. The question is, did March members stop foreign nationals from accessing healthcare today in Durban and in Rosettenville? Section 27.1 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa clearly states that everyone has the right to have access to healthcare services, including reproductive healthcare. Then it says, this constitutional provision means that all people in South Africa, regardless of nationality, should have access to basic healthcare services.
Do you want to know what these passionate negative comments are directed towards? Listen to this.
I think it's been a very busy couple of days and weeks, actually. As you know, March started in March, and it's been a couple of months now that we've been making the call to government to attend to the matter of illegal immigrants. And the pace at which it's been happening has not been to the satisfaction of the general public of South Africa. As you know, March are ordinary citizens of the country of South Africa who are not in any way politically affiliated to any political party. So it's just us as South Africans saying that we've had enough of the crime, we've had enough of the influx, the damage to infrastructure, the shortage of resources, and the many other problems that have been brought on by illegal immigrants in South Africa. And we've made this call to government, and we have been constantly blue-ticked and not given the attention that we feel that this matter deserves, because it is a crisis. And so therefore we decided that we have been asked and tasked as South Africans to make sure that we protect this country and we protect its resources and its people. So that's what we've been doing lately, and making sure that the future of ourselves and our children is taken back to the hands that it rightfully belongs to, which is South Africans.
Sounds fair enough, doesn't it? That is something that many sane South Africans can support, right? But for some reason, many South African journalists seem to not support that.
Make a call for nationalization of banks without compensation. We make this call because it is one of cardinal pillars of the economic freedom fighters as contained in our manifesto. The cardinal pillars in the EFF are non-negotiable and constitute the true future of South Africa. We make this call fully aware that the financial services sector is currently the biggest sector in the South African economy.
Your circumstances are what make their ideas powerful. I mean, if you have nothing to lose. Plus, you feel like you have everything to gain from those promises of equality. So why would you not ignorantly support the snake oil salesman? Huh? It is an emotional response to a frustrating, seemingly unequal and limited reality. George Orwell recognized this too. He observed that the kind of person who gravitates towards socialism is often a person with a grievance. But here's the problem. no matter how aggrieved supporters of socialism are, no matter how many promises of equality and dignity they're given, history shows that although socialism promises equality, it doesn't actually deliver it.
The state has managed to recover over 8 million rand from 4 auctioned cars belonging to fraud accused Hamilton Ndlovu. Ndlovu stands accused of unlawfully benefiting from 172 million rand in about 19 personal protective equipment tenders at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic.
For you, Litsabo, Ketsabi to the 991, Felicia, Panamera GTS, my mom, Cayenne, S, my dad, the SRT, and then Felicia, the Lamborghini Urus.
In the same book, The Road to Wigan Pier, George Orwell warned, sometimes it looks as though the whole socialist movement is actuated by hatred of the rich. And we've seen it oftentimes in South Africa, have we not? The socialists and the communists encouraging the poor to hate those that have more than them, to hate everybody else that isn't poor, that isn't struggling, that isn't on the same boat as them. When it is sold to you as a poor parent who is struggling to feed your children, as a student who cannot afford school fees, or as an unemployed young adult that is struggling to make ends meet, socialism is packaged as your path to the promised land. A path out of lack, out of poverty, and straight to a land flowing with milk and honey. But the reality is often something else. The reality is using you and your circumstances, your frustration and your anger, your passion and energy to take from those doing better than you benefits the people that are leading the movement. In the end, both you and those who you took away from are left in a very dire position.
Attacks on white farm owners in Zimbabwe are once again escalating. Property invasions have been common since 2002, when President Robert Mugabe ruled that commercial farms had to be turned over to the black community. From Zimbabwe, Nkapile Mabuse reports on how white farmers are continuing to bear the brunt of Mugabe's controversial land reform.
A community under siege bids farewell to yet another murdered Zimbabwean farmer. Sophie Hart was found dead in her home in August.
Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Her distraught husband is said to be the only remaining white farmer in the district of Kadoma, southwest of the capital Harare. The motive behind her killing is unknown, but farm invasions and attacks have once again escalated in Zimbabwe.
This lawlessness has just carried on.
Ben Freeth has been beaten, arrested and repeatedly harassed. Now his home has been reduced to rubble. The latest strategy, he believes, to drive him off his farm. Freeth cannot say for sure that this was arson, but tells us he's received several threats from a gang of youths who have occupied part of his farm.
One time they came around with burning sacks at night. With the sacks they were going underneath the thatch and saying, "We are going to burn your house down if you don't get out."
Freeth's father-in-law, Mike Campbell's farmhouse, has also been gutted by a mysterious fire. At Campbell's front gate is a public display of exactly who has taken over.
In the Soviet Union under Joseph Stalin, farms were taken in the name of equality during Soviet collectivization, and it led to famine, including the Holodomor, where millions of people died. In China, under Mao Zedong, the Great Leap Forward tried to force equality through mass collectivization, and that resulted in one of the deadliest famines in human history.
Oh, man.
We are advancing an alternative program. We want expropriation of land without compensation. We want nationalization. We want to bring the dignity of black majority in South Africa
Where
back.
has expropriation of land without compensation worked?
No, it doesn't mean if it doesn't work anywhere, it can't work here.
It doesn't matter. This is what the leader of the EFF actually believes. This is what the leader of the EFF believes. And you would think that maybe, just maybe, his supporters will try to get a clarity on this question of Zimbabwe. Because these people are not saying anything. So if these people are not saying anything, meaning that they are consenting with what Julius Malema is saying. That the model of land expropriation without compensation in Zimbabwe, it was a success. Despite the fact that today